$6 billion. That is how much the global art theft market is worth. Art theft experts are gathering today in New York City for a 3-day symposium at NYU to discuss the third largest criminal enterprise in the world. Joining us is Bloomberg's Alix Steel, who's been digging into these numbers. Art theft market. You can say that 3 times and
pretty fast
and
see what happens. Well, here's the thing. As one expert told me, where there's money, there is crime. And in the art world, there is a ton of money right now. It's about a $200 billion market. And here's why. We're basically back to almost pre-recession levels. Total sales hit almost $65 billion. That's up 8% year on year. A stone's throw away from the record high set in 2007 and 1.5 times higher from that low just about 5 years ago. And that increase is really due to us here in the U.S. We've seen a 25% increase in value in the art market, and we are now the world's largest art market, followed by China and then the U.K. And the growth is due to that modern sector, like the Warhols, the Francis Bacons of the world. They make up about half the sales in the country, and people are just really rich, Betty. We got 32 millionaires in the world. They want to put their money somewhere, and half of them are about here in the U.S. Yeah, 32 million.
What about some of the biggest heists?
Interestingly enough, art theft is divided into 2 parts. You have the thefts, and you also have the forgeries. So the FBI compiled a list of the actual thefts. The biggest one was actually in 2003 from the Iraq National Museum. As much as 10,000 pieces are actually still missing. The most expensive theft was in 1990. 13 objects were stolen from the Gardner Museum in Boston. $500 million, the biggest art theft ever recorded. Some rare paintings were taken, and only 2 to 6% of all art that's stolen is ever actually recovered.
Only that small?
That small. It's a really difficult market. A lot of this also goes unreported, too.
Right. And
so it's really difficult to track. I heard stories of like a helicopter coming in and zooming down and taking a statue out of a garden. I mean, crazy movie-type thefts.
That is. Now, there was a private investor, though, right? Jeff Gunlock.
Right.
Who lost, what, $10 million in art?
Right. So the actual theft market's about 10% museums. The rest are private. And you mentioned Jeff Gunlock, CEO of Double Line Capital. So he had more than $10 million in work stolen from his home. But that also include like Porsches, a watch, and wine. And a lot of that was actually recovered. But some say that in the art world, it's actually forgeries that wind up trumping theft. Robert Whitman, who's a former FBI art theft agent, has his own business in art security and recovery. He says, honestly, it's the wild, wild West. No one is monitoring gallery sales. Theft can be protected by insurance, but a forgery, you're at an immediate loss. And there are some big names that have been hit in this business as well, like Steve Martin. He bought a $953,000 painting from a German forger who's now in prison and had to sell it at a substantial loss, about $680,000. Another victim, John Howard, Irving Place Capital Private Equity Fund, right? He bought a de Kooning for $4 million at a Knoedler gallery, which is now accused of netting almost $43 million selling fakes.
Wow.
Even though they say they did their due
incredible.
diligence, they did what they had to do, they're still fakes.